In this episode of What's Eating You, I catch up with a longtime friend and eating disorder coach, Erin Reiland, to talk about recovery, eating disorder coaching, what works, what doesn't, and the benefits of virtual treatment. Be sure to check it out.
Welcome to What's Eating You. I'm Dr. Matt Keck from Cielo Mar Recovery. I'm an eating disorder specialist, and in this segment, what I do is take questions from real people about all things eating disorder and eating disorder recovery related. So let's jump right in.
Okay, I'm dying to know. You've figured out what worked for you and what didn't work for you. Give me an example of something that worked, and then tell me something that didn't work.
So so some things I found that really did help and work, although I would say I fought it a little, was definitely having for meals and snacks, that hunger fullness cue that's kind of like, basic in every treatment center. But and I would think it was, I'd roll my eyes, do what I would normally do. And but I feel like having that is so helpful because I wasn't connected to my body. I didn't really know. I was like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I'm not hungry." So I didn't trust my body. My body didn't trust me. So I had to trust in that part of it being like, "Okay, keep doing this. If you're hungry, if you're not hungry, you still need to eat your meal plan. It's okay if you feel full." I really think that kind of stuff really did help in my treatment because I had no clue. I'd be like, "I'm so full, I can't eat." But in reality, my body just wasn't used to eating that. So that that really was, I mean, and I use it with people. Here's my little handout. Here's the fullness hunger. It really did help. Um, some things that did not help, hmm, there's a few, but, I felt like things that didn't help were when we were working, like, art therapy or things like that. I love art therapy, though, but when it gauged towards the body tracings, trace what you think you look like and then do a real tracing of what you look like. I feel like it's not because what it did was distort, and I did it many times. It kinda even distorted me even more, and then I questioned the reality even more, and then it was comparing myself to other people's choices, being like, "Oh, and so
I
I
feel
think
like
that
that one
was
in a group is,
yeah.
yeah, that one in a group is not good, but
No,
yeah, I mean,
maybe by yourself,
yeah.
but
But I mean,
mine were
I think
always in groups, and
that's
so,
such
like
a, like, good example of something that, like, we therapists think, "Oh, this is amazing. This is super helpful. Clients love it." And maybe in fact that's not the case. So, I mean, that's
I think
important to
maybe
bear
if
in mind.
you're one-on-one with someone and it's just you're working with someone, then I could see, yes, maybe that is helpful, but when you have a group and it's like, "Well, let's see who can be, like, the biggest," and you're really all you're doing is focusing on the other people, and it ends up and I did it so many times that I started realizing, yeah, I'm just sitting there trying to compare or be obsessed with theirs, and I think that's just the whole thing of comparisons and the distortion that, comes along with the eating disorder. I didn't find that helpful. I also didn't find it helpful when, I was made to do something that I didn't fully, like, emotionally understand at the time. Like, why are you like, what has hurt you in the past? Like, what is this? And I did some of the things I didn't know, and then I was like forced and pushed, and so I would just make stuff up. Like, okay. So I feel like it's always how I work with people is I meet them where they're at. And if they're at this place in their journey, I'm not gonna force them to be way ahead because it's not gonna help them. Like, I wanna help them where they're at. And I think, like, that's a big kind of missing piece with unfortunately, with, residential treatment centers, it is kind of you're on a specific module of how it works. It's just how it is. So I get it, but it also makes it very difficult to individualize things.
mean, I just think that clients shouldn't be forced to do anything because isn't that the same mechanism that the eating disorder uses? Like the eating disorder, tries to force you to do what it says. So even if treatment people have better intentions for you, but the way that they're delivering their good intentions is, in a sort of like, oh, we know better, do what we say. I mean, I've always found that was whack. Like, and I think there is that balance between having the structure that a client needs, but
Yeah.
also the flexibility to understand like they're the expert and there's some things that they don't need.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah. If you have questions, feel free to get in touch through the social medias or the buttons in the video, any means necessary, and I would be happy to answer your question in this segment. Thanks so much for tuning in.